connecting and feeling hearts. That does my heart good. Thank you for that. And today's going to be kind of a softer day. We have a point for that in case your nerves are feeling frazzled. We just wanted to kind of tone it down a little bit today and take some deep breaths. And if you're here for the first time, welcome. You just never know what's going to happen here on a Sunday morning, so thanks for taking the risk. And I promise you will come out alive. For those of you watching online, thanks for joining us this morning. We feel your hearts out there. We're sending you love. So let's just take a moment to open up our hearts to what Spirit has for us today. Just as you put your hand on your heart here, just consider, I am here for a reason today. And Spirit has something here for me. And I'm looking forward to knowing what that is and where I will go with this opportunity. And because we're just trying to soften things and create a sense of peace today, we're going to stay seated while we sing. So let's just enjoy that. We have some really wonderful music here for you today. So let every word sink in and let it guide you to why you're here today. Bless you.
Good morning, everyone.
Such a holy
is all that you are. You are sacred love. Sacred love is all that you are. Sacred love is all that you are. Sacred love is all that you are. How does it feel to sit in that presence, that power, that love? And it flows even as we sit. It moves, this love, as we allow it. Send my love over the mountains. I send my love over the sea. I send my love into the heavens, and it returns to me. I send my love I send my love over the sea. I send my love into the heavens, and it returns to me. I send my joy. I send my joy over the mountains. I send my joy returns to me. Send my peace over the mountains. I send my peace over the sea. I send my peace into the heavens, and it returns to me. I send my love. I send my love. Returns to me, and it returns to me, and it returns to me.
So with your eyes closed for just a moment, imagine that the energy that we are creating here in this room and with our friends online is an energy that is part of this field around us. And so we allow that love and that peace and that joy that's coming out of our hearts right now to be like a stone in a pond, sending out a ripple. And we allow that love and that peace, that joy, to reach out to our friends all around the planet right now, that they feel soothed in this moment. So grateful, Spirit, that your one presence is always soothing, always healing, always lifting. And we are grateful. So it is. Now we allow it to be. Amen. And will you help me speak our invocation? The words are here on the screen. Together. There's only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life. The all-loving goodness of God. And so it is. Thank you.
So here's a song written by my friend Anthony Burbidge. It's new for us. I invite you to sing along. Many souls upon the earth, many stories, many hurts, but there is one force we all feel. There is one love that will heal. Many rivers are returning in their own way to one source. Many rivers all converging with the one unchanging force in our lives. Though our eyes may fool our minds, in our hearts we recognize we're not two souls, you and I. We are one in our source of life. Many rivers all returning in their own way to one source. Many rivers all converging with the one unchanging force. Many rivers all returning in their own way to one source. Many rivers all converging with the one unchanging force in our lives. Well, I can listen and I can love you, even if we don't agree. 'Cause where we come from and where we go, well, is the same for you and me. Many rivers are returning in their own way to one source. Many rivers all converging with the one unchanging force. Many rivers all returning in their own way to one source. Many rivers all converging with the one unchanging force in our lives. Many rivers, yeah, one force.
How you feeling? Nodding. How about a sense of just checking in with your heart right now? You know, I've heard so many times in the last few months, my nervous system is just exhausted. Have you heard that? My nervous system is exhausted. And there's a sense of disorientation and upset. It feels like the whole world is on overload. You know, there was a season, can't say that it's really gone away, but where, you know, all we talked about was we're split in half, especially in our country. 50% goes this way and 50% goes that way. Do you know what I mean? Anybody? Okay. So it appears that our attention has shifted lately, less about the general population and more about the hierarchy of the system, the structure, the architecture, who's leading it, and what kind of it just feels like it's imploding and that we don't really have any support to show us which way to go. So when we are in a situation like that, our body tends to get into high alert, right? It's something new, you're not really sure, you know, what tomorrow holds, so you're just like this all the time. And even though we have come a long way over the last 100 years in our technology and our medical advances, we haven't really advanced our wisdom level. You know what I'm saying? I had a professor at Unity Village in a seminary. His name was Robert Brummett. He's written many wonderful books. And one of the things that he said is that at this point in our evolution, we're like a small child with a loaded gun. And while we're still scrabbling for the external wealth and success, we're actually doing it from an internal consciousness of poverty. That's not good, right? So when you're working from a consciousness of poverty, you give meaning to what's happening around you from that level as well. And you assume there's not going to be enough for everyone, and that we are working against, or something is working against us that we have to be careful of. The old way's not working, but we don't have a new way yet, and we just don't know how to step forward into this. Can anyone relate to any of this? Yeah. So I heard a woman speaking this past week about her partner who seems to be just ignoring everything that's going on around us. And she said he just doesn't seem to care, that he's not angry, he's not frustrated. And I'm over here, did you see that? But did you feel that? And I just can't seem to get him to see what's going on. How do I do that? And when I think about him and her, you know, take that to the extreme, and it's kind of like the two stories that we probably heard as children. One was Chicken Little, where an acorn dropped on her head, but she was frantic and believed that the sky was falling. And not only did she believe that, but she tried to get everybody else to believe that. She was riling them up. And at the same time, when we think of him as just kind of laying back and not appearing ruffled, it could be that he's actually very centered, right? So let's not set that aside. But in the story of Rip Van Winkle, I don't know, I had to actually read about that this week for the first time. Other than the fact that he slept for 20 years, I didn't really get it. But he was a guy everybody loved, but he just hated responsibility. He hated duties and work, and so he'd spend his time out in the forest trying to get away from his wife nagging him. And at one point he did that, and he met a group of, I think ultimately they were supposed to be ghosts. He drank their potion, and he fell asleep for 20 years. And when he did wake up, it turns out he could not relate to the world as it had become while he was asleep. Now, he was glad he'd missed the entire American Revolutionary War, didn't have to participate in that, but he couldn't really understand the world that he was now living in, which is kind of the moral. If we avoid life too long, you might wake up to a world that's left you behind. And I'm wondering if that's what's going on for some of us right now. And that's a question we're all asking. What's going on, and why is it happening? We read a book from Christian Sundberg. Some of you may remember A Walk in the Physical. And what he said up here on the screen is, the reason the world can often be a mess is We're not grown up enough to be able to actualize our true loving nature here under these biological and physical constraints. We each have a lot of fear. We have a lot of room for personal and collective evolution. That evolution is happening, even if it may seem slow from a given human's perspective. So, first of all, I want you to take heart today that we are evolving. And a few weeks ago, I invited you to join the Unity region on a Zoom call to talk about social action in these times. And somebody quoted somebody, sorry, I didn't write it down, but the quote was, "Stress is an evolutionary driver." So we should be really evolved. Yeah. And that evolutionary driving factor within us is spirit. It's constantly seeking to be more through and as us. It's constantly inviting us to a higher perspective. The whole reason we came into this challenge in the first place was because it would evolve our souls. We would come to know ourselves in new ways. So just keep that in mind, that in the spiritual dimension, it is just la-la land. Pure peace and bliss and love. And yet, it is said by many teachers that spirit cannot fully and deeply experience what it is when there's no contrast working against it. So it creates this universe to experience that contrast, which allows us to know what not love is, what not peace is, so we can deepen our understanding of love. That evolves the entire universes that exist. And that's what spirit is about, is just keep growing and deepening and understanding more of itself. So one of the things that I feel like I've read somewhere in my years about evolution is it's kind of like when you have a fire going in your fireplace and the logs start to burn down and there's just one left, and then it starts to burn down and there's just kind of a chunk, little chunk left in the fire, and it's glowing, and just before it quits, it kind of flares up. You seen that? Yes? That's kind of what I think is happening right now in our evolutionary process. Is what we're seeing out in the material world is that ember flaring up, and it's kind of like one last cry for don't make me give up my way of life. If I have to, I'm going to just get out there and cause trouble in order to keep things the way I want. And that's an ego on steroids. Okay? So I think, in my opinion, that's what's happening right now. And what results when something like that happens in such a huge way, so many people involved, people start making choices out of fear. Very normal for the human race to make choices out of fear. The offender, when they make choices out of fear, it looks like, I must have power, I must have control, I must have it my way. And the offended, when it's responding in fear, it's either pushing back with a fight, or rejecting, this isn't happening, or I am completely helpless here. All of these really are ultimately coming from a sense of fear. And when Jesus said in Matthew 10, he said, "Whoever finds his life will lose it. Whoever loses his life for my sake will find it." Think about that as if we are scrabbling to live our life from the material perspective, where our sense consciousness, our 5 physical senses, our subconscious, all the stuff and the stories that we've stuffed down inside of us are driving us, that's when we're trying to find that life. And we lose every time if we let that be the driving factor. But if we can let our spirit be the guide, so that when he says, loses his life for my sake, think of it as you set aside the ego and you welcome the Christ Spirit within you to guide you. Now we've got a chance to live a full and whole life. And it's not easy, right? It's not easy when we're facing things like this. But ultimately, think of evolution as about surrendering the ego so spirit can lead. That's what we're headed for, day by day, minute by minute. And I honestly believe that in the midst of all this chaos, I've actually seen more of our population doing that. And it looks a little bit like being kinder to one another. it's really hard to ignore what's going on. A lot of times we've been able to live our lives and not know what's happening in the news, but nowadays it's hard to miss, right? So what if when we do see things that you just go, what the heck? You stop for a moment and consider, where's the gift in this? And what I think one of the gifts are in this is that the mass of the population is collectively choosing what we don't want. Because of what's happening out here in the material world, it's visible to us on such a large scale that everybody can say, you know what, that's not working for me at all or anymore. And don't you sense that coming from other people besides yourself? You know, that this old way of doing things is not working for me anymore. And every time we turn around, something new is being revealed. Jesus told us that would happen. He said, for there's nothing hidden that will not be disclosed, and nothing concealed that will not be known or brought out into the open. I think that's so we can look at it and say, oh, is that what we've been doing? Is that what's been going on in the background somewhere? Okay, no. We're ready for something different here. So what I'm seeing more of is people supporting one another in a way that they haven't before. We're sensing the hurt more easily in others' hearts and wanting to be there to support them. So there's more fairness, I think, one-on-one. There's more willingness to connect. There's more willingness to talk back and forth with each other. Has anyone else witnessed that? Okay, so it's not just me. But little by little, we're seeing that this traditional system, especially, I can't really realize where this or why this started, but I feel like decades ago, people were much more friendly to each other, and then we went through this process where, maybe it's because we started to live so close together, that in order to have any sense of privacy and individuality, we just pretended like our neighbors didn't exist. Can you relate to that? You'd get on an elevator and not say a word? Yeah. I think we're moving beyond that again. I think we're more willing to reach out to people. I'm talking to people all the time, but you know me. I mean, I'm walking down the hall in an office building, and I'll just stop anyone. Do you know where the ladies' room is? It's like, oh, I think it's over there. And the next thing you know, we're having a little friendly conversation, and it's just any opportunity to connect, I'm taking it, man. I'm taking it. And I also feel like people are willing to step outside the box and consider some new ways of doing things. They haven't really gotten established yet, but I really think that's on the horizon somewhere for us. Now, when you hear that the world is undergoing major change like this, it's, once again, very easy for the human in us to get all worked up, become Chicken Little, cry out, try and get everybody else to scream out and resist along with you. So let's kind of bring this down to bite-sized chunks today. When we're talking about evolution, let's just do it, first of all, within ourselves, okay? Transformation for just little old me, and focus first on how not to contribute to the collective chaos. Don't be Chicken Little. When you're tempted to start talking about, did you see that, did you feel that, just see if there's another thing that you could choose instead to talk about that you'd rather be seeing. So we're not riling up. When we toss that stone into the pond, our ripples go out. There's no stopping it. We're not separated. So we have to consciously choose what we're going to contribute to in the whole, because you are doing that, believe it or not. You are contributing to the whole. So this all begins with being very self-aware. Very self-aware. The survival mechanism in us is like, look outside, what's coming at me next? I'm talking about just turning within and asking, what's going on for me? And realize that as we do this, it happens right here in the present moment. Remember we talked about that a week or two ago, about just being right here in the now, because this is the only time that change can happen for us. We could stand here and complain about what happened last week, or how shocking it was 3 months ago, but that isn't going to change anything, including ourselves. And it doesn't help us to sit here and think, okay, somebody's going to get it together next week, or definitely by next year, probably in 2 years, for sure somebody's going to do something. That's not how we do evolution for ourselves either. It has to happen right here in this moment. So up here on the screen, I'm going to show you a few questions that if you like to write things down, this is the time, or take a picture of this list. And then put it on a card and carry it around with you, and every once in a while, or as often as possible, get it out and take a look at it. These are questions for yourself. What's happening right now? Just pause in the moment, check your surroundings, and more importantly, check within you. What's happening in me right now? Pay attention to what self-talk has been going on in your mind over the last hour or two, or week, month. If something's very repetitive, pay attention to that. And ask, how am I feeling emotionally right now? And if it's a negative feeling that's there for you, just see, is this chronic? Is this something that's been repeating over and over again? This is all about just noticing, okay? You're asking and noticing. But also check your body, because it's telling you things all the time too. What am I feeling in my body right now? Is it chronic? Does it have a message for me? What am I believing right now because of this feeling? Or I'm having this feeling because I believe this. What is it? What's the belief? And is it true? Is it real? Or is it based out of fear? And is this belief mine? Or did I take it from my parents or from my peers? And what am I wanting right now? Do I want to stay in this muck? Or do I want something higher from here? Now, as you go through this list and your answers are coming up for you, it's important that you don't judge them. Just listen to them. Just notice them. Don't make them bad. Don't make them wrong. Don't make them justified. Just listen. And at this point, you want to stop blaming someone else for them as well. Okay, so you're just aware. You just allow, you accept what is in you right now, this moment. But there is one thing that I want you to take ownership of at this point is, what do you do next? Or how do you feel next? Or what do you believe next? Because that's completely within your power and nobody else's. No one can make you feel anything. We've talked about that. You're in charge of that. So now that you know this is the feeling, we also know, and yet I'm in charge of that. So what would I prefer instead? Nobody can make me feel this way, and I'm not going to be handing over my power right now to somebody else. I'm going to check in here. I'm going to get out of this story. I'm going to stop being stuck, and I'm going to open up to something else, something higher that's also within me. I'm going to let my choices be based in love. So this little investigation we're doing is about checking to see, am I being the way of God, or am I being in the way of God? Again, no judgment, no right or wrong, but just see which way you'd rather go. And that's your choice to make. Now again, Robert Brummett said that Teilhard de Chardin, somebody he enjoyed studying, Teilhard predicted that we're evolving into a collective bound together by a center-to-center connection that he called love. We become as one, but do not lose our individuality. As we go deeper into our own nature, we discover that we are united with all beings and realize our unlimited nature as an expression of the one. So that center to center, he says, bound together by a center that he called love, just visualize what that future could be, where no matter who we're interacting with, there is a connection from heart to heart. And its driving force is love. It's no longer competition. It's no longer fear. It's no longer judgment. Can you imagine us evolving to the point where we truly understand the heart-to-heart connection because we're choosing to feel love and we're seeing what love creates for us, which is always harmony. It's always good. So, one of the ways he just described us is an expression of the one. My darlings, that's huge. And that's probably one of the hardest things for our brain to understand, that you are an expression, an individualized, unique, powerful, spiritual being, an extension, a spark, a point of awareness from the divine. That is powerful. So what does that say about you? What does that mean for your true nature? First of all, you're going on forever. This little blink of an eye life that you have here on earth is nothing compared to your infinite life. You're eternal. There's no boundaries to you. Whatever your heart desires is available. And the driving force of your true you, your expression of the one, is love. So when we get out of its way, then we're able to relate to people one-on-one from that place of acceptance and allowing, and doing that for ourselves as well. It means being aligned with spirit in order to do that. Now, I was just listening to a podcast from Suzanne Giesemann, probably this week, last week, I don't know. She was talking about evidence of being aligned with spirit. So I'm going to put her list up here, and then I'm going to tell you what I think it means. First of all, she says, when you're aligned with spirit, you pause before reacting. Can you see how important that is and what an evidence it is of spirit? That we don't, when somebody pushes our buttons, we don't just have a knee-jerk reaction. But because we're aligned with spirit, we're able to pause, we're able to stop for a moment and just realize, I'm safe here. There's only one power working in this situation, and it's God and it's good, and I'm an expression of that. So it gives you a moment to tap in and ask your higher self, what's the best response? What's the most effective interaction I can have here? She said that aligning with spirit means that you're guided towards kindness. That's your natural response to things. Instead of judgment, instead of resistance, it's, again, allowing, supporting, and listening, feeling that sense of receptivity to another. And when you're receptive to another, you're receptive to your guidance, so you know what to do next. You know what's needed in the moment. Aligning with spirit means that you trust the nudges from within. So many of us trust what we've been told, what we learned as children, what we see on the news, what the experts tell us. But when you are choosing to align with spirit, you are listening to your heart and feeling your way to your decisions, nudging you towards turn left instead of right, say X instead of Y. She said that as we're aligned with spirit, you feel peace instead of urgency. Now, this one I get to practice all the time. I can be urgent at 3 a.m. It's amazing. And it's always about, the to-do list and getting it all done on time. And every time I catch myself in that moment, it's my opportunity to say, well, I've been as ruthless as shut up, or as kind as peace, be still. Peace, be still. What are some options here? And what is really important? What really matters? Do you really think the world's going to end if you don't get X done? So, when you get aligned with spirit and you know your source of good, it's easier to be at peace instead of that urgency. And the last one she says is, you have a sense of enoughness. So instead of working from this place of, what if I run out? Or I've run out and now what do I do? There's never going to be enough. I'm always bad at handling money. It's because we don't understand our true source of good. So this is about coming back to our oneness with what we call divine substance, which is that same field. It's spiritual energy. It becomes things based on how we look at it, how much faith we put into it. So the ego will always say, I need more, I need more, I need more, just to protect itself. So we have to be aware of that when that's happening and remind ourselves, there's always enough, not just for me, but for everybody else as well. And guess what? What I want, if it's different than what they want, there's still enough for both of us to get what we want, because there is an infinite supply. Those are some ways to keep checking to see how we're doing in our evolution and knowing which way we want to turn in order to put the ego in the back seat and let spirit lead. I mentioned our purpose coming here and wanting to grow through these challenges in life. So part of our growth process happens when we look at where we're going and what we really want from an evolved perspective. What would life feel like? Let's start with that. What would life feel like if we evolved to the point where we felt like now we're getting somewhere, now we're making some spiritual headway? Shout out to me some of the feelings or happenings that you could see in an evolved world. What might it be? What's going on in you? What's going on around you? Joy. Trust. Kindness. Generosity. Compromise. Peace. Something else? Hugs. Good one. Yeah. So if you can't get to hope, or can't get to enthusiasm and can't get to assuredness, get to hope. Wouldn't that be nice? If that's our first step forward, great. Just work with hope. I'm looking forward to living in a hopeful world. I'm looking forward to seeing people support one another more readily and communicate better and create a sense of cooperation and community with one another. I'm looking forward to being more creative in my expression instead of just doing what I learned out of my science book or my bookkeeping book. And how fun would it be if everybody was living their passion and their joy and they found a way to produce something that was needed for others, and that's how you lived. Instead of you working to put a roof over your head, what if you were working from passion and joy and the end result of that was that it also provided a need for someone else? And that we get to this place where it's more of a barter system instead of, how much money did you build up in the bank and what can you afford today? Can you even open your mind to that a little bit? Wouldn't that be fun? Wouldn't that be fun? So, of course, how do we bring that forward? How do we bring those feelings forward? We do it ourselves initially in our own heart. We feel, we resonate with the frequencies that we want to see outpictured in our world. So go back to that feeling of being what it is that we want to see. As I mentioned a few weeks ago, you were invited to join us on a Zoom call with the regional churches of Unity in the Great Lakes region to talk about social action and what is ours to do in the middle of all this craziness. And various ministers weighed in on how they were dealing with certain situations. There were some there from Minneapolis. And one of the first things I heard was clergy as a group had been arrested by ICE because they were protesting or marching. So now one of our Unity ministers comes to a march knowing that, and she was not Caucasian, and she came to walk in peace, and she got in with the group and started marching, and immediately an ICE agent came up behind her and stood here at her shoulder and walked with her for an hour. And the first response was fear. And then she evolved in consciousness and chose to send him love. So for an hour, as she walked, she sent him love. And suddenly he walked away and disappeared from the scene. Another minister from one of our Unity churches in Minneapolis said, if you can't take love and peace with you, don't march. You understand that, right? Okay. So some ministers talked about what they were focusing on with their ministries. One talked about using the 12 powers. So a reminder, these bookmarks we have are out front. Beth might have some in her hand today, giving them out, of our 12 powers and the affirmations that go with them, as a way to remind us when we're trying to evolve that we don't evolve from being fearful and crying that the sky is falling. We evolve by focusing on strength and wisdom and love and power and imagination and understanding and will and enthusiasm and order and release and life. These powers are what Spirit is in and as us if we will make way for them. Do you want to be the way of God or do you want to be in the way of God? Focus on your 12 powers when you don't know how to respond to what you're seeing. Instead of getting sucked down into the story and feel yourself going down the drain, rise up, evolve beyond what you see, and remember what your potential is. You can do that. Another minister talked about focusing on what you value in life. If you remember, unity values wholeness and humor and open-mindedness and love. These are things that matter to us, and so they should be driving our behavior. They should be telling us which way to turn and how to respond to what we're seeing as our values. And again, in order for this evolution to take place, it has to start within as a feeling within ourselves, being able to see it in our consciousness, and then make choices that feel like love. If we set an intention to broaden the community of love and start within ourselves, that means I'm going to choose to see the good wherever I can find it. And I'm going to choose to want good for whoever seems to not want love. And I'm going to choose to work for good wherever I see an opportunity to do that. If that's what you focus on, guess what? You're going to wake up in a love-based community. You can't help but be drawn into, attracted to what you are being. That's the way the law works. Now, it's very possible that as we evolve, we won't all evolve at the same time. It happens one person at a time. But you literally can create your own environment of love because that's the way the law works. If you will be it, if you will feel it, if you will live it, you will be surrounded by that. Even though there's pockets all around the world that doesn't look like that, you can't seem to find those pockets because you're living in love. Do you understand how that'll work? Yeah. So little by little, these pockets are starting to sprout up, and it's our opportunity to set the intention so we can be part of the sprouting, so we can be the pebble in the pond and send out that intention into the field of consciousness and see it starting to broaden and deepen all around us. So just remember, even when you feel like you're seeing or feeling darkness, God's good is our light. No matter what we see with our eyes, God's good is our light, and light is winning. It may not look like it at the time, but ultimately, there's only God. So trust that that light is there, and what we look at expands. That's the way the law works as well. Hold the idea, I am walking in the light. When you start to feel like you're getting sucked down, just remind yourself, I am walking in the light. Say that with me. I am walking in the light. I am the light. Together, I am the light. There you go. There is a psalm that talks about this, Psalm 139. And I want to use it in a meditation today. Is that okay? Let's take some time in the quiet and just allow these words to bring us back to what's possible, what's available, really what's everywhere. And let that soften us and soothe us so that we might become the light. So let's just close our eyes. Begin by taking a deep breath. If you just open your heart and mind to the world around us, you might feel the confusion that's going on or the concern. And our human might question, as the psalmist did, where can I go from your spirit? Where can I flee from your presence? If I ascend to heaven, you're there. If I make my bed in Sheol, you are there. Sense that presence. Sense that calm, that assurance. If I take the wings of the morning and settle at the farthest limits of the sea, even there your hand shall lead me. And your right hand shall hold me fast. If I say, surely the darkness shall cover me, and the light around me become night, even the darkness is not dark to you. The night is as bright as the day. For darkness is as light to you. Darkness is as light to you. The light of God surrounds us. We are the light. The love of God enfolds us. We are the love. The power of God protects us. We are the power. The presence of God watches over us. And we are the presence. Wherever we are, the fullness of God is. We are the fullness of God. I am walking in the light. I am the light. This is the truth of my being. And now I let it be. So it is. Amen. Keep looking for those gifts. How we are advancing. That we're facing a world that is changing all the time, and we have a chance to be part of that. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for watching online, because your consciousness is contributing to our evolution. That's exciting. Trust that. Trust that. We'll be talking more about this as we go over the next week or so. And when we stop here at this point in our service to share our tithes and our love offerings, it's just one more opportunity to evolve in consciousness about giving. And is this process of giving for you something that lifts you up, that lights your way, that lets you become light as you give? Thank you for your giving. Thank you for supporting your spiritual community and making a space for more and more and more and more to find out who they really are and to step into their own evolutionary process. Your gifts make that difference. If you're watching online, thank you for your gifts, for going to our website at unityinnaperville.org and donate online. Or if you'd like to send a check to our P.O. Box 9733 in Naperville, and the zip is 60567, we are deeply grateful. Thank you. Ushers, will you come, please? And I'll just invite you to open your hearts to what you're about to hear, and let this just be part of your evolutionary process. Thank you.
All these
Oh, that felt good. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Could you feel your mission? All right, good. Thank you. So let's open up our hearts and send this substance that we've created here out into the universe to do good. The words are up here on our screen. Together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And I am grateful. Thank you so much. Beth, thank you.
Good morning, I'm Beth. I'm here to share your announcements today. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome. We're glad you're here. And if you're online, we're glad you're here as well. Please complete the orange registration card at the welcome table and leave it at the info table. We'll be keeping you posted about upcoming events. Virtual newcomers can sign up for the weekly e-news online at unityinnaperville.org. Let's go to lunch today after service at the patio outside of the Fox Valley Mall on Route 59. Monday morning metaphysics reads The Eye of the Storm by Gary Simmons tomorrow at 10:30 on Zoom, and you don't have to have been there for the prior sessions. Just show up. Sisters in Spirit meets online Wednesday at 6:30. See the e-news or the website for more information or the Zoom link. If you're struggling to stay positive and see how you can make a difference during these challenging times, join us for Craftivism, Forest of Dream Project, this Saturday at 9:30 a.m. It's an art project that helps you reflect and discover what you want to see in the world and how to activate it. $20 in advance, $25 at the door. Register at the information table or at unityinnaperville.org. If your birthday is in March, send your photo to admin@unityinnaperville.org by Thursday, and we'll sing happy birthday to you next Sunday. For other details or special instructions on all of our events, please read the event calendar at unityinnaperville.org or see the e-news on Tuesdays. Our prayer chaplain today is Kyra. She's available to pray with you in the prayer room after the service, or you can email your name and phone number to prayer@unityinnaperville.org, and a chaplain will call you today by 1 p.m. And now Reverend Kitty has a couple of announcements.
My 4-week class is coming up on March 3rd. If you register before or by March 3rd, you can save some money if you'd like to do that. Susan is helping you register at the info table, or you can do it online. And if you aren't able to do all 4, then you're just welcome by Tuesday morning of every week to get into the registration online to register for that particular class, and you'll get your Zoom link and your class materials the day of, okay? So hope to see you there. And also just a reminder, we have a nominating committee who is inviting people to consider running for our board of trustees. And we have been getting a lot of no's. And we are coming to a deadline where we, for a lot of reasons, need to find out who they are and notify our membership and be ready for the election at the right time. So if you are approached by a nominating committee member, I'm going to ask you to just open your heart as wide as possible to really consider if this is yours to do. It's a 2-year term. It's 1 meeting a month. There may be other things that you'll be invited to do throughout the years, but you will have the energy and the ability to do it. We trust in spirit that if you're guided, it's going to work out for you perfectly. The job duties and the job application or the candidate applications are out on the counter in the cafe if you'd like to pick it up for more information. And I'm the one to contact if you are interested in this. So please consider that and let us know. Typically, we approach members. You need to be a member in order to be a board member. However, we're having a membership class coming up in March, so that can be handled as well if you're not a member, but you're still interested in looking at this. So thank you for opening your heart to this idea. And I think we're good. We have one last song, yes? All right, let's stand as you're able, and we'll finish up.
as we go forth this week, let this be our prayer. May you be well, may you be happy, may you be peaceful, and may you be loved. May you be well, may you be happy, may you be peaceful, and go ahead and look to your neighbor. May you be well, may you be happy, may you be peaceful, and may you be loved. Oh yeah, may you be well, may you be happy, may you be peaceful, and may you be loved. To all of my relations, I bow to you. We are all related. A common thread runs right through, and we can sing this simple song for the ones in pain. Oh yeah. And we sing for the suffering. May these words melt their pain away. Oh, may you be well, may you be happy, may you be peaceful, and go ahead and walk around and talk to your friends here. May you be well, bless them, may you be happy, embrace them, may you be peaceful, and may you be loved. Declare with me. May you be well, may you be happy, may you be peaceful, and may you be, one more time, may you be well, may you be happy, may you be peaceful, and may you be loved.
That's what it takes. It's as simple as saying, do you know what a ladies' room is? Oh, I love you guys so much. Thank you for bringing your heart here today. I feel that. I feel you online, and it's just an opportunity for us to continue that ripple outward into the field where there is pure love waiting to help and support us. So thank you for keeping at it. Bless you. Here's our closing affirmation to help remind us up here on the screen. Together, I let love expand my vision and guide my next step. I'm just going to remind you of one last thing. Saturday is really an important event for us. We're bringing in friends, facilitators from outside the state that are going to help us with this. And I think if you just want to find a tangible way to feel like you're putting your stone in the pond, then join us for this. It's very simple. It's nothing that requires a lot of artistry or anything like this, but I really think it's going to open people's hearts. And the result of what we finish on Saturday will be something that will continue to speak out into the universe. So join us if you can. I'll be here too, 9:30, right? Whoever knows, 9:30? Is that right, Deb? Okay, we'll see you Saturday if you can, all right? And you can register for a lower price today with Susan. Thanks, everybody. Love you so much. Say hi to somebody.